Hello students, myself Sheetal Sawan. I am lecturer at Praveen Patil College of Diploma Engineering and Technology. So today we are going to start with chapter number 4, that is flow measurement of the subject name Mechanical Engineering Measurement. Learning outcomes. After completion of this video, student will be able to understand dial tube, variable area flow meter or rotameter, hot wire anemometer and ultrasonic flow meter. Dial tube. So dial tube is a combination of venturimeter and low pressure tap orifice plate, generally used for large flow rate in large diameter pipes. So this dial tube has a low permanent pressure drop as compared to the orifice plate. The pressure differential is a typical measured using the diaphragm pressure transducer with digital readout. The differential pressure produced by the dial tube is higher than the venturi tube and the nozzle, all of them having same throat diameter. The tube consists of short straight inlet section followed by the abrupt decrease in inside diameter of the tube. This section is called as inlet shoulder. Is followed by the converging inlet cone and the diverging existing cone. Then these two cones are separated by the slot or a gap between the two cones. Now let's see what are the advantages of the dial tube. So dial tube has a lower permanent pressure loss, then it is more compact and it's commonly used in a large flow application in large pipes. Then easy to install, the short overall length, then it is accurately flow metering for cleaning glasses, liquid and the stream. Then negligible wear and the corrosion therefore required less maintenance and inspection. And what are the disadvantages of this dial tube? So it is a more complex to manufacture than the sensitivity to turbulence, then the cost is more than the orifice plate. The next point is variable area flow meter, which is also called as rotameter. So this rotameter is a variable area meter in which the area is varied by the float in a tapered tube. So here is the float is provided. So this is the float and this is the taper area. So in variable area meter, the size of the area is adjusted by the amount of necessary when the flow is changes. The float of the rotameter adjusts the size of the area by rising and falling in the taper tube. So this may be falls, may be rise. So it depends on the pressure of a flowing fluid. Then depending on the rate of the flow, the float takes a position in the tube that necessary or that is increases or decreases the size of the area and thus keeps the differential pressure constant. So therefore the rotameter is called as variable area flow meter. So this is the inlet of this rotameter. Okay, then this is the glass tube in which the float is placed inside along with a scale, and this is the outlet of a rotameter. Now let's see the construction of rotameter. So construction of rotameter, the rotameter consists of transparent glass tube placed vertically such that the large end is at the top. Now this assembly is enclosed in a safety transparent shield for the protection. Flow inlet is provided at the bottom of a glass tube while the flow outlet is at the top of the tube. The glass tube is graduated with the linear scale. When there is a no flow, the float rests at the bottom of the glass as the maximum diameter of the float is less than the minimum bore of the glass tube. When the float is at equilibrium position, forces acting on the float are downward gravitational force, upward buoyant force, pressure force, viscous drag. The basic requirement of the float is it should be heavier than the fluid to be measured. The general material used for the float is stainless steel, gunmetal, monil or the brass. The shape of the float is selected such that it creates the minimum obstruction for the fluid flow. Advantages of rotameter. So no external power required. Rotameter do not require power to measure the flow rate. We can see the process. So we not only get the flow measurement reading, but also we see the fluid flowing. Is the fluid dirty or the cloudy looking, which could means the filter need to be changed. Then the rotameter are cost effective. The rotameter can be installed with the other flow measurement technique and also it is the cost effective. simple to install and maintain. So rotameter are quickly installed by connecting the process line to the inlet and the outlet of the rotameter, and it is ready to measure flow. Then what are the limitations of rotameter? So it must be installed in a vertical position only. For higher pressure and the temperature, it is expensive. It cannot be used for flow measurement of slurry. The next point is hot wire anemometer. So hot wire anemometer is variable velocity meter. It is used for measurement of the flow when the flow is fluctuating and unsteady. The sensor of 5 micron diameter platinum tungsten wire is welded between the two prongs of the probe and the heated electrically to form a part of Weston bridge circuit. When the probe is introduced in a fluid stream, it tends to get cooled by the velocity of the fluid, and there is a decreasing in its resistance. So this is the diagram of a hot wire anemometer. So this is the Wheatstone bridge circuit. This is the hot wire probe, and here is the fluid flow. And here is the circuit. Here is the battery, and this is the voltmeter. The rate of the cooling of the sensor probe wire depends upon the shape and the size of the properties of the hot wire, then the temperature difference between the hot wire and the fluid, properties of the flowing fluid, velocity of the flowing stream. For all above properties, the only fluid velocity is the variable and the rest of the properties remains fairly constant. Thus, the instrument response is directly measured of flow velocity. The heat lost in a sensor changes the temperature of the wire as well as subsequent change in resistance of wire. The next point is ultrasonic flow meter. So the ultrasonic flow meter are based on the apparent change in the velocity of propagation of sound waves in a fluid with the change in the velocity of the flow of the fluid. So what is the principle? The difference in a transmit the time of ultrasonic pulse is linearly proportional to the flow velocity. So this is a diagram of ultrasonic flow meter. So this is the transmitter, this is the receiver, and the distance between between these two transmitter and the receivers is L, and this is the flowing fluid. The ultrasonic flow meter. So in simple ultrasonic flow meter, the two transducers are inserted in a pipeline at a distance it's apart. The upstream transducer is energized from the electronic oscillator so that it transmits the ultrasonic waves in the direction normal to the downstream transducer, which is a receiver. So let Vs is the velocity of the sound in a fluid. So V is the velocity of fluid, L is the distance between the transmitter and the receiver, T1 is the transit time along flow. Then the T2 is the transit time against the flow. So what is the formula? How to calculate the velocity of the flow? V is equal to Vs square bracket T2 minus T1 upon 2 into capital L. Let's see the advantages of ultrasonic flow meter. So it offers negligible obstruction to flow which is to be measured. It has plus 22% accuracy of the full scale value. It has a linear relationship with the velocity and the output. The output is electrical signal and can be displayed in a analog or a digital form. The output is insensitive to variation in viscosity, density and the temperature. It can be used for bi-directional flow. No moving parts, low maintenance cost. It can be used for corrosive or slurry flow measurement. Multipath models have higher accuracy for wide range of the Reynolds number. Now, what are the disadvantages of ultrasonic flow meter? So, it is costly, therefore, it is used as a limited to industrial applications only. Thank you.